Hi everyone, my name is Bilikis. You're welcome to my channel. If this is your first time of checking out this channel, just hit the subscribe button because you won't want to miss out on any of my tutorials. Today, I'm going to be making a tutorial on how to pad a blouse. It could either be a full blouse or a tube or bustier blouse, depending on whatever blouse you want to pad. And trust me, it is just the same technique. And I will tell you about the different types of interfacing you'll be using for that. Like for instance, here I have my 6 pieces blouse already cut out. This is for the front panel, and this is what it looks like, and this is for the back panel. So the next thing now is to go over to the different types of interfacing we will be using. Here I have 3 types of interfacing. What is the essence of this interfacing? The essence is to stabilize our fabric, to give it a control. So they are like stabilizers to give your fabric, especially when you are using a very light fabric, it gives it some support. So they are stabilizers. So now, for instance, this is a type of horsehair interfacing. So this will be placed on the main fabric. For instance, like this fabric is quite thick, so you could decide to ignore putting this, or you could decide to add this to the main fabric, and you could decide not to because this is a little bit on the thick side. But if you're having a very light fabric, you could have this particular interfacing. It's commonly called hairstay. So this will be hard because you can see this visible side. Can you see that? So this is gluing. So by the time you place it on your fabric on the wrong side, and then you give it a good press, so it stabilizes your fabric. There is another form of a non-woven interfacing I have here. It's usually called the paper stay. It is light. This will be added to the lining. So all you have to do is to this creasy, can you see here is visible, so this will be placed on the lining, on the wrong side of the lining. So it will give it some support. It will make it a little bit thick, because you don't want your 6 pieces blouse or your tube top just plain and rough. So you want to give it that crispy look. And then I have another type of interfacing here. This is usually called wadding, and there are 3 types. We have the soft. This is quite soft. I like using this for myself. There's the medium, and there is the hard. So it depends on what your client wants. That will determine the type of weight you will be using. But I will be using the soft one. I will just show you this tube top I'm making for myself. Looking at it, I use this soft interfacing here called wadding, commonly called wadding. Looking at it, it gives it some support. Can you see? It stabilizes it and makes the bust area prominent. Can you see? Even mere touching the fabric, you know it gives it some support and will give it a nice finishing by the time it is finished. So back to my 6 pieces blouse. So the first thing I will do now is to get a little bit of this horsehair interfacing. Can you see? This is the visible side, and this is the wrong side of my fabric. So this will be going on this. For instance, this is what I have. So this will be placed this way. Can you see? This is the visible side. This is the wrong side of my fabric. So this will be placed on this, and then we just place a very light fabric on it to give it a good press. I'll just do one of that for you to see. Right now I've placed the main fabric on the horsehair interfacing. Can you see that? This is the wrong side. So the wrong side is to the visible area. So all I have to do is to give it a good press. You could steam press it here. Give it a nice grip. The fabric is being glued to the interfacing, so now I can just trim it off. Right now I already added the interfacing to it, and mere looking at it is more thicker, and you can see it stabilizes the fabric. So I haven't done this to all the panels. This is for the front and this is for the back. push it back. I have 2 left. So right now we'll go over to the lining and how to attach the interfacing to the lining. For the lining, when you're looking at this, you see this is a light medium fabric. Can you see that? So by the time you start attaching it to your fabric, it could, you know, stretch a little bit and give this rough surface. So what I'll do is to use this non-woven interfacing. So this kind of stabilizes it. As I've said earlier on, I said all these interfacings are stabilizers. They give support to our fabric. So this is the fusible side and this is the wrong side of my lining. So I will be placing it this way and then give it a good press and trim it off just like I did for the main fabric. For the lining, can you see what I have here? I have blue D, non-woven interfacing to it. Me looking at it, you see it stabilizes and supports the lining. And this is the main fabric. Me looking at it alone, you know, okay, we have something nice. So by the time you join this together, the lining together and the main fabric together, everything will look lovely and stand so well. So the next thing now is to apply this interfacing, commonly called wadding, to the bust area. So you'll be adding this to the main fabric. Looking at this type of interfacing, this is the fusible side. You can see this is where the glue is and this is where the normal interfacing is. So I will be adding this to the normal fabric, the actual fabric. So you just make sure it ends around the on the bust here. So all I have to do is, this is the fusible part. So I will place it, this is around the on the bust. So this is how it will be. So you could stop somewhere around here, the armhole area. You could decide to put it up to somewhere like this, but this is just okay. So I will just use my pressing iron. I will just trim this off because from this underbust to this part is okay for me. I will just trim this off before pressing it with my iron. So this is what I have. So this side is okay. I will just use, I will trim this off to build or equal size with this. So I will also trim this off. So this is just perfect. Then I will take my pressing iron to fuse it together. So before giving it a press, I will just curve this area a little. And then trim it up. Facing has been glued to the main fabric. So the next thing now is to trim up. So this is what this looks like. And then I will trim this off. I will trim to the right side to make it. So right now this is what I have. Can you see this? So by the time I join this together, it will form a very nice shape. There are other ways in which, if you want just the bust area to be covered with this type of interface, but I will be explaining that when I'm making a tutorial on how to make a tube top. So the next thing now is to join this together. That is the main fabric. Also, I will join together the lining and then I'll show you how it looks. So I'll quickly show you how the back panel looks like. This is it. This is where the zipper will be, and this will be where the joining will be. So also you will sew the lining separately and also the main fabric separately. After sewing the main fabric, this is what it looks like. Can you see that? Then I open up the seam with my pressing iron. I will show you to the right side for you to see. Can you see the bust area is prominent? And this is it. I will just put it on my body for you to see how it looks. Can you see that? So mere seeing this, you know the shape is formed already. The same thing goes to the lining. I've joined it, so I will just notch it and open up the seam. And all you have to do is to match the right sides together. this way. Match the right side together. Finish the neckline. If possible, the armhole and the sides, the lower parts, and then you attach both the front and the back together. This is for the back panel. I've joined one side. This is one side. This is how it looks like. This is the lining. So all you have to do is to attach the lining separately and also the main fabric separately. So me looking at this, by the time I finish up all my fabrics together, turning the neckline, the sides and the lower parts, it will be stabilized and it will give a lot of beauty to the blouse. Hope my tutorial has been helpful. If it has, just give me a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. I remain your dog Bilikis. Guess what? The tools are very much available now. I will put the contact number on how to contact us in case you are interested in the tool, and also on the online class in the comment section below. So it will be pinned and that will be the first comment you will see. Bye for now.